You know, for over half a century, just one single element, something we get from ordinary sand, has been the engine behind our entire digital world. I'm talking, of course, about silicon. It's the literal heart of your phone, your computer, the internet, even AI. But what if that heart is about to hit its absolute limit? That's what we're digging into today.
It sounds pretty dramatic, right? But as we keep pushing technology further and faster than ever before, it's a question that scientists and engineers are getting really serious about. Is the incredible, unstoppable era of silicon finally coming to an end? So before we can even look at what's next, we have to give credit where credit is due. Silicon has been the undisputed king of technology for a very, very long time. I mean, there's a reason they call it Silicon Valley. And its track record is just undeniable. Think about it. From the very first transistor way back in the 50s, silicon has been at the core of every single major leap forward. The microprocessors that gave us the first personal computers, silicon. The explosion of the internet in the 90s, all powered by silicon. And today, the chips in our smartphones and the massive AI data centers, you guessed it, it's been one heck of a run.
Now, the engine that drove all this insane progress has a name you've probably heard: Moore's Law. It was this simple but incredibly powerful observation. Basically, every couple of years, engineers found a way to cram twice as many tiny switches, or transistors, onto a chip. This made our gadgets exponentially smaller, faster, and smarter, year after year after year. It was the magic formula for the entire digital revolution.
Okay, but here's the catch. That magic formula, well, it's starting to break. The incredible march of Moore's Law is slamming right into the unbending laws of physics. The king, for the first time, is hitting a wall that it just can't seem to get through.
And it's not just one thing, it's a triple threat. First, there's the size limit. We literally can't make the transistors much smaller. We are talking about components that are just a few atoms wide. There's just no more room to shrink. Second, all that power generates a crazy amount of heat, which can damage the chips and wastes a ton of energy. And third, there's a natural speed limit. Electrons can only move so fast through silicon. And folks, we've pretty much maxed it out.
This brings us to the core dilemma, the unsolvable problem. Modern AI is power hungry. It needs more and more processing power to solve bigger challenges. But the more power you pump into a silicon chip, the hotter it gets. It's a vicious cycle where we end up spending massive amounts of energy just trying to cool things down, which is completely unsustainable.
So what this all boils down to is that after decades of absolutely brilliant engineering, we've basically squeezed every last drop of performance we can out of silicon by itself. It's been an amazing ride, but it's time to start looking for what comes next.
And this is where things get really, really cool. Because scientists aren't just sitting back and letting progress grind to a halt. Oh no, there is a whole new generation of materials and technologies lining up, ready to take the crown and launch us into a new era of computing. So, let's meet the contenders. First up, we've got graphene. You might have heard about this stuff. It's essentially a sheet of carbon that's only one atom thick, and it's about as close to a real-life wonder material as you can possibly get. Seriously, it has some abilities that sound like they're straight out of a comic book. Okay, just to put this into perspective, graphene is 200 times stronger than steel. But for computers, here's the real magic trick. Electrons can zip through it up to 100 times faster than they can in silicon. 100 times! That is a mind-blowing leap in potential speed. The big hurdle right now? It's still super difficult and expensive to make in large, perfect sheets.
All right, next up is gallium nitride, or GaN for short. Now, if graphene is the speedster, you can think of GaN as the heavyweight power player. It's a special kind of material that is just fantastic at handling high power and high voltages with incredible efficiency.
And this is why you're actually seeing it in the real world already. Compared to silicon, GaN chips run way cooler and they're way more efficient. That makes them perfect for really tough jobs, like powering our 5G network towers and other high-power electronics, places where silicon would just overheat and tap out. And the list just keeps going. We've got carbon nanotubes, which could replace transistors in future CPUs. There's photonic computing, which is a wild idea that uses light instead of electricity to move data around, making things ultra-fast and super cool. And then, of course, there's the ultimate game changer, quantum computing, a totally new way of thinking about processing that could solve problems millions of times faster than anything we have today. So, with all these amazing new technologies on the horizon, is it time to just say goodbye to our old friend silicon? Well, the future is shaping up to be a little more complicated, and honestly, a lot more interesting than that. This isn't about a hostile takeover. It's more like a new, powerful alliance.
That's right. For all its new limits, silicon still has three huge things going for it. It's incredibly cheap, it's everywhere, it comes from sand, and after 70 years, we know how to manufacture it with near-perfect precision. You don't just throw away an advantage like that.
So the future is looking hybrid. Think of it as Silicon 2.0. We start with that cheap, reliable silicon foundation that we know so well. But then, on top of it, we add these ultra-thin layers of high-performance materials, like graphene, to do the really heavy lifting. And then, you connect all the pieces using light-based photonics to move data at, well, the speed of light. This combo lets us do things that were impossible before, like running incredibly complex AI right on your device instead of in the cloud. You get the raw speed of the new stuff with the manufacturability of the old. It's really the best of both worlds.
And this isn't just some theory for a lab. It's being driven by real-world demand. Right now, the absolute explosion of AI requires processors that are way faster and more efficient than what silicon alone can deliver. Tech giants like IBM and Google are already building quantum prototypes, and our huge data centers are desperate for photonic chips to handle the insane flood of data.
And that right there is the key takeaway. The end of one era isn't a sign of failure. It's the signal that we are leveling up to something even more powerful, even more transformative. We are not at the end of progress, we're at the very beginning of a brand new chapter.
So that's the question I want to leave you with. Silicon gave us everything from pocket calculators to the internet and AI. It literally built the information age. So as we step into this new future of hybrid chips, quantum computers, and light-speed processing, what kind of world-changing new age are we about to unlock next?